What a lovely day!
Oh, what a day, what a lovely day. You know, I can confirm after watching Mad Max Furiosa for the second time in IMAX that this film indeed is like watching the psychosis of a crackhead.
Julian!
And let me just tell you that this film was wacky, it was zany, it was fun, but it was also disgusting.
Brother, what's that?
And listen, if you like the unexpected, if you like to be wildly entertained, if you're a fan of WWE, then I think you'll truly enjoy this film and you'll see the WWE connection I make later. Listen, go into this film and have no expectations because that is what I did the first time around and I was completely blown away. You know, I watched the original Mad Max Fury Road when it came out. And I had thoughts about it. I thought it was definitely the unexpected banger of 2015. And I think that's the thought that a lot of us had when we first saw it. And, you know, how you think how he's going to top that masterpiece. No Tom Hardy, no Charlize Theron, but we do have Anya Taylor-Joy to kind of fill that gap of the superstar level actress. So, first of all, I want to start this video going into the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you'll see on the side here that I have some points that I want to illustrate. So first, I just want to talk about Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. Furiosa says very little throughout the film. She has about 60 lines of dialogue, which can be a good or a bad thing. I think if you're going to have Anya Taylor-Joy as your lead actress, you want to give her more to do, at least to say. Most of her acting was physical acting, and that's, you know, you see that more in theater. And that was great to see it on the screen. But I just wish she said more for us to at least to connect with her on an emotional level, right? You want to have, you know, it's cool to see the things because she has some, quite frankly, some horrific things happen to her. And it is through those moments of dialogue where we get to connect and see her true rage or her true fury. But, you know, they wrote it into the plot in a way that, you know, it makes sense why she's mute, but I wish we had gotten more of her talking. But on another note of Furiosa and Anya Taylor-Joy's performance, it is the fact that she does not really feel like the star of the film. And there's several reasons why, but it seems like everyone else outshines Furiosa in a variety of ways. And it's like the performance Anya Taylor-Joy gave was almost secondary or tertiary to the performance a lot of the other characters were giving. And to me, you know, that I like that this movie just didn't hang on the back of Anya Taylor-Joy because a project this big cannot hang on the back of one actor. But, you know, she's title credits. She's title credits. And, you know, you want to have her play the role, right? Charlize Theron was a big part of Mad Max Fury Road, and her performance was you know, it was big, it was monumental. And opposite Tom Hardy, you can't go wrong with that combination. Of course, Nicholas Hoult was in it as well. That's where I got the line from. What a day, what a lovely day from. If you're a Mad Max Fury Road fan, then you get it. I never really grew up a Mad Max fan, honestly, but I feel like it had a little something for everyone. And the wacky and zany is a part of that. And, you know, the sick and the twisted is integral in this movie. A lot of crazy things happen. They should have, quite frankly, put a trigger warning for some of the stuff that they did. And I just think, you know, like you go in and you don't expect to see a lot of the stuff that you see, right? I think one of the main moments where I was just like, what am I watching was when Chris Hemsworth character, Dementis, was trying to negotiate with the big boss to get control of Gastown. He had these things hooked up to his nipples, and the man just ripped them things off. He ripped his nipples off, and you're like, what? This man just ripped his nipples off? And then another guy in the area not in the area, but who was a part of the big boss's court, had nipple clamps on too. So I was like, what was going on in the writer's room? What was going on in the director's room? I was like, yeah, you know what? This is Mad Max. We need to put this man in nipple clamps, just to drive home our point that anything crazy, wacky, and zany can go on. Also, cannibalism is just like a casual thing in this universe. I didn't know. Why didn't I think of that? But it's like highlighted multiple times. Chris Hemsworth character Dementis, he has a organic chef, organic doctor, you could call it, who, he fixes him blood sausage that he extracts from Furiosa. And the man is just munching on that stuff like human chicken nuggets. And at first it's a little off-putting. It's like, okay, but then you think, okay, they're in this wasteland. There aren't really animals really just running around. There's like not fresh water, so they're drinking pee. It's crazy. It's crazy. And there's that. The big boss. I like to call him the big boss because the guy, he ran the Citadel, but he has a harem with 5 wives, right? And the 5 wives are like tasked with producing his offspring. Well, it was like I don't know what the genetic mutation is with that man, but he was just producing like these mutant looking babies that didn't survive past a certain amount of time, and they was just going and impregnating them wives, and he had 2 sons. And so when Furiosa is brought to the Citadel, Furiosa catches the attention of the big boss, and he's like, oh yeah, like you can be a wife for one of my sons, and yada yada yada, trying to produce these offsprings. They didn't really go back and touch on why he wanted to produce them offspring so bad, which I think would have elevated the project a little bit in my sense. Like, give us this reasoning. I know we're on this crazy ride, but a lot of the stuff they bring up in this film is just breezed over very quickly. Almost as if, why spend time on it if you're not going to give us the full explanation? You know what I'm saying? So that is like just a small taste of the Sick and Twisted. If you go see this film, see it in IMAX. But if you go see this film, you'll be like, what the hell am I watching? So moving on to Chris Hemsworth. Chris is the man of the hour. His character Dementis, it almost feels like the Dementis show. Nothing in this movie would be worth watching without Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of Dementis. And also, Dementis is the motivating factor for everything Furiosa does and doesn't do. And to just go back to Furiosa is the reason for everything that happened to her, right? She got captured in them people business. Then she goes and tries to save her mama and gets captured again when her mama already tried to save her. And it's like, you really just caused everything to happen. When I said that Furiosa doesn't make choices in the non-spoiler review, I meant adult Furiosa. Kid Furiosa makes all the wrong choices, and it is for the reason why adult Furiosa has all these things just seemingly happen to her, right? So back to Chris Hemsworth, Dementis is a big part of Furiosa's childhood. He runs Gastown. Later in the film, he took over Bullet Town, and he had control of Gastown and Bullet Town. And then it kind of leads to this 40-day wasteland war that they kind of just breeze through really quickly to get to the point. And this man in Dementis, they try to give him some type of sympathy and alluding to the fact that he had a family, he had a wife, he had kids, and that they somehow died. I don't know when they died, how they died, who they died. But and he carries around this teddy bear that he gave to Furiosa. And kind of at the end, it is like the telltale that, oh, this is Furiosa, because the first thing she does is go for that she goes for the teddy bear, and he's like, "Oh wait, little D." He calls her little D, and it is so funny because in the beginning, when I told you that the big boss was wanted Furiosa, Dementor's like, "Nah, this is my daughter. This is little D," and he was like, is that your dad?" And Furiosa was like, "Nah." She was like, "Hell nah." She was like, "Hell nah," and I thought that was funny. Um, and so, but Dementis also strangely a poetic guy in all his zany fashion is kind of poetic, and I think you know at the end of it when we get to that when I talk about the ending, it's almost poignant. It had a air about it that made you think, I could see Chris Hemsworth getting a nom for this. I really could. Some of his best character work in this film. But like I said, most films have an A plot, a B plot, even a C plot. And I feel like the C plot of this film was the love story that they kind of tacked on there ever so lazily between Furiosa and Praetorian Jack, who was played by Tom Burke, where basically she learns from Praetorian Jack how to run the Fury Road things. And so she learns to run the Fury Road from Praetorian Jack, and he's like the only person that really gets to see her map tattoo and things like that. And so, you know, when Dementis not only killed Furiosa Mama, but Dementis killed Praetorian Jack. So, and it's just a tragic love story, right? Where Furiosa has to watch Praetorian Jack be dragged by a motorcycle while Dementis' dogs maul this man. And Furiosa has to watch that. Part of that sick and twisted stuff I was talking about. But another big part of Furiosa's character that we saw in Mad Max Furiosa was that she doesn't have an arm. And so the lead up to her not having an arm, I was like, when did she lose the arm and get the mechanical arm, right? Because that's like a big thing. They kind of hyped it up in the trailers and all that. She kind of just gets it mangled up, and it's like, oh, that's how she loses the arm. It's kind of whack. But then she cuts off her own arm to escape, and that is quite frankly badass. And I was like, what? It's like she just cut her arm off. I didn't, she was just like hobbling along, and I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. But then we get the poetic justice of the ending. Well, not quite the ending, but the poetic justice that Furiosa gets on Mr. Dementis. She, after the 40-day wasteland war, she picks up this truck and she goes out and try to find that man. Like, she hunts him down in the desert and like has him chained up and everything. But Furiosa's like, I want my mama and I want my childhood. I want them back, and I want them back now. And he's like, I can't give them back to you. I can't give them back. And he was like, and I think Dementis truly believes that he created and had a big hand in creating Furiosa and who she is. And that man he was hardcore. Furiosa was trying to whoop him up, but he was just like, look, just kill me. He was like, go around the back, and if you find satisfaction in killing me, just shoot me in the back of the head. I won't even be able to feel it. But then we go to this gangster ending, which is almost, quite frankly, worse than her killing him. So you'll see throughout the film that Furiosa carries around a peach peach seed. She carries it around in her hair, like she puts it in her mouth. I guess it reminds her of home and the sweetness of the peach, blase. But she so she takes this peach seed and she locks up Dementis and has the seed, and she plants it in this man's groin. and the tree feeds on Dementis. Okay, that's part of that sick and twisted stuff once again. But the tree just grows and feeds on Dementis, and it's quite frankly disgusting looking. It grows this fruit that Furiosa picks off the tree, and she gives it to the 5 wives, right? And then it leads right into Mad Max Fury Road, with her stealing the rig and her going out on the Fury Road. And at the end of the film, they show clips from Mad Max Fury Road. So, and they don't tell us how much time has passed. We see like Dementis has like this beard and stuff, so we can assume it's been kind of sort of at least a year for a tree to grow. But then it just goes right into Fury Road, which I feel like they could have just brought in Charlize Theron to show the last half, just to show some tie-in, because I do feel like it was an older Furiosa in the last film, and it just jump right back in with Anya Taylor. You know, I don't know. It just creates some synergy amongst the projects. We know this is Furiosa, but throw in Charlize, man. You're not gonna lose anything from it. I guarantee you. We're only gonna love it even more. So listen, this was the spoiler review. This is wacky, zany, sometimes fun, and it feels like you're watching a very gory, very nasty reenactment of some WWE type stuff. The characterizations, the bright colors, just the theatrics of it all feels almost like WWE, in which I was mentioned earlier. So I had to just tell you how, because this whole thing is just crazy. So comment, like, subscribe, please, 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 please. I'm a growing channel. And you know, everything that you do helps my project and helps me grow on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching the spoiler review of Mad Max Furiosa. I will be dropping a podcast episode at the beginning on Mondays. I drop every Monday a podcast episode, and I drop shorts and stuff throughout the week. And this is just another one of those endeavors. So listen, this has been another review on the Juju Rice YouTube channel. Just comment, like, subscribe, and keep it locked.